Hello, I think we are live. Oh, yep, we're live. Welcome to the YouTube. And in one moment, I'm going to post the Zoom link to join this on YouTube. So please be patient for a second. Got it. Meeting settings. No, not that. Participants, invite, copy, invite link. YouTube. If you're watching the replay, maybe you want to scroll a little bit forward to when we would actually start. Live chat, paste. Okay. So welcome to the Livestream Channeling with the Pleiadian Council and myself. Thank you for being here today. This is an opportunity to connect with a channeled consciousness known as the Pleiadian Council, and they support our planet in bringing through messages and connecting with our own higher self. I'm not the only channel for the Pleiadian Council, and hopefully if you've gotten here, you are somewhat familiar with channeling, so I'm not going to explain too much today. You can bring whatever questions you have, and they will answer them to the best of their ability. They need some background information if it's something very personal. So you can't just name, what is this person in my life, blah, blah, blah. And it's not going to bring a clear answer. So if you have a personal question of that nature, it is encouraged that you come live into the Zoom room and ask it so that we can kind of have a dialogue so that all of the information can really be presented and come through, the answer can come through in a really clear way. If your question is more general, you can definitely type it out, and you can type it out in the Zoom chat or in the YouTube live chat box, and somebody is usually here to read it. Today we are especially empty in the Zoom room with only 2 participants, but that might just be more suitable for today because I am personally wanting to keep it shorter today anyway, and I was going to do only an hour of channeling as opposed to sometimes we go on for 2 hours. So it might just be exactly what it needs to be today in this moment. These sessions are done by donation, and these sessions are done freely. And if you want to support them, you can send a donation to the email address on PayPal or that tag for Venmo. They're in the chats. And I really greatly appreciate your support. It really allows me to make channeling and healing work and occult studies my main focus in life. And that allows my content to go deeper for all of you. And I'm truly grateful for all of the support. And you can also book private sessions with me. Information is on dantestarshine.com. There is also a course that is running now, so you can't join the group program really, but you can do it on a one-to-one basis with me if you want to learn how to channel. So that's what I do, that's what I offer. And in this space, it's encouraged that you, again, ask your questions live aloud, but if you can't, type them out and give everybody adequate time and space for their questions without going too much into your own stuff. are without taking, more than 10 minutes for your questions. And if there's a chance for more questions at the end and everybody's already asked their questions, you might be able to ask again. Okay, let's just get started. Hello, hello. It is a pleasure and honor to establish contact with you in this way. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of your own guides and the Galactic Alliance, supporting this entire world through the process that you may call ascension. It is, again, a gift that you extend to us because whenever you open a bridge between your reality and the reality of beings like ourselves, both of us experience grand shifts, and through the reflections we offer each other, expand into greater connection with Source and a greater knowledge of all that is. And for this, our appreciation is deep. Now, the opening message today is entitled Embodied Transition. And this is a continuation of some themes we have explored before. Let's begin with this understanding that in every single second, you are shifting between billions of parallel realities, billions of potential timelines that could unfold, billions of different entire universes that are moved through with every subtle shift in your consciousness. Every time that you make a shift within yourself, you are an entire new being. In this moment, you have the same soul as you've always had, and you will always be that soul. Yet the personality that expresses in this world is continuously changed and rearranged and is never the same as it was before. So to really get to embodied transition, you have to fully integrate both of these understandings in your framework of who you are. Sometimes you go through transitions in life in which you feel as if you are losing yourself. This happens in beneficial ways and in negative ways. Some of these challenges are ultimately necessary for you to release your limiting beliefs and the constricting ideas of who you are and what you can be and what you can do. And as you go through these moments that are more difficult in terms of a transition, what's most important to remember is that you as a soul are everlasting and eternal. If you can remember the moments in which you experienced the greatest spiritual joy, bliss, ecstasy even, and recreate those experiences in the present, in the now, then whatever is occurring can wash off of you much easier. And you can come to reconcile whatever transition is taking place. Sometimes you may have to rewrite the story of who you are many times. It's different for every soul who comes here. Some souls do not choose a very complex life, and they may remain consistently attached to certain themes and certain people and certain places. Yet generally these souls in your world do not reach the critical vibration for awakening. So those of you who do choose to challenge yourself, to try on many different avenues of expression and understanding, to try on what you consider supernatural or paranormal experiences, which are natural and normal, you may find that you go through many different points of transition, many more than those who do not choose an accelerated path of awakening. And so it is important to embrace this notion of moving from one version of yourself into another, and recognizing that all of the past selves that you have been are contained within this soul, but none of them are truly necessary and relevant for how you define yourself in the moment. You can derive satisfaction, joy, connection, and a sense of growth and accomplishment from looking back on the past versions of yourself. Though recognize they are just that, past versions of yourself. In this moment, everything may have changed in your reality. You may have gained new friends or lost some. You may have discovered that certain skills or pathways that you were working on are not relevant for you anymore. And you may find yourself in a whole new framework of reality. And so you have to learn how to define yourself according to the reality you are now operating within, and not define yourself based upon that old reality. Transition is also connected with your birth into spirit, otherwise known as death. When you leave the body, you come into the world of spirit. And there are many distorted stories of things that could happen and could go wrong when you leave the body, including hell or eternal cycles of punishment. And this is a metaphorical translation of something that does happen when you do leave the body. And that is that you experience a review of everything that has happened in this lifetime. And because you are no longer in that subjective place attached to your own understanding from within your body and within your mind, you experience everything that has happened from a broad sense, meaning you take on the impact that everyone else has had from your actions. You feel it within yourself as a soul. And this is where there's retribution and where you experience what you have done. But simultaneously, you go beyond into a joyful connection with your oversoul and with source. You go beyond the limits of physical reality and remain an eternal being. And because the nature of this universe that you have incarnated into is unconditional love is your experience, and unconditional forgiveness is granted upon you through your higher self. And so it is important to recognize that as well as you move through transitions, because transitions are often as similar to miniature deaths. You can experience at points in your life which you consider a death and rebirth of yourself. This happens when certain soul themes are complete and you begin new soul themes. Some go as far to say that a new soul walks into your body. And this does take place at certain moments. When this happens, it is still a version of your oversoul, meaning that it is still you, it is still connected to your soul history, though it is a different soul aspect that walks into your body as one leaves. Sometimes two soul aspects inhabit a body at once. And this is called a soul braid or a soul merge. These experiences allow for a smoother transition from living as one soul to living as the new soul that has walked in. These experiences are not so common in general, but they are not so uncommon, again, for those of you choosing this path of awakening. This is especially common for those of you who choose sudden awakenings, or for those of you who have carried a lot of trauma, because that the soul that has lived through that simply wants to return to source and discard of the memory. And as the new soul walks in, it allows for the physical memory to remain in the physical mind, but the new soul does not have the same sense of connection to those past experiences. The emotional charge is greatly dissipated, and this new soul experiences it, the past life of the individual, almost as if it is what you consider a genuine past life. There is such a grand detachment from it that one recognizes that one was not the same person. And sometimes in this case, yes, one was not even the same soul. So if you have had experiences in which you felt as if some part of you left for a new part to come in, you might have had an experience like this, and it might be beneficial to take some time to consider it. And yes, every little change within yourself is, in a sense, a miniature death, a miniature letting go. It is a sort of transition where you move from one realm to another. And you also do this every night as you sleep. This is a transition from the physical world into the spirit world. We remind you here of the understanding that the physical reality is a waking dream of your soul. For there are higher dimensions of reality that are closer to source. This is what is meant when people say this world is an illusion. It is not that it is not real, for it is certainly real, though it is not the most real. It is not all that is real. And sleep is necessary not only to rest your body, but for your soul to experience that restoration of your connection to spirit. So this is why it is often said to sleep on it, because when you enter into that letting go and when you recalibrate in spirit, often you wake up with a greater and clearer understanding. And this is also why, for many of you who go through these transitions in your life, it is beneficial to, in a sense, hibernate. For when animals hibernate for long periods of time, they are really immersing themselves in that spirit realm. And if it feels right for you at points to retreat and to turn inward for a significant amount of time, that can be a way for you to come across the other side, rebirthed, renewed, and with a greater connection to source intact. So these are our messages today about guided transition, exploring many themes of what it means to transition, what it means to let go and begin walking your path as a new version of yourself. For this happens every day in small ways, and it happens for some of you in big ways. And all of the different ways that it happens are interconnected. So we hope you enjoy transitioning and shifting realities and gain greater awareness so that you can do it smoother with greater ease and less resistance. Our thanks to you for allowing us to share this message, and we now ask, in what ways can we support you today of your time?
Good evening. Good evening, Pleiadian Council. Nice to hear from you again.
Yes.
I am slightly late for a meeting, so may I go first? And
yes.
First of all, may I say that you've reminded me, I've had many transitions of the type you've spoken of. In particular, I would like if you have any information for me about a transition that I call my near-death experience that happened in the island of Maui in 1989. If you are able to access anything and tell me something about that particular, what I called near-death experience.
It was an opportunity for you to reconnect with spirit and experience that sort of vastness, and also to recognize that a part of you wants to live more than you want to leave. Energetically, sometimes souls end up in these situations of near-death experiences because there is a mixed vibrational signal about wanting to stay and wanting to go. And by having such an intense experience, they recognize they want to stay when they meet source and choose to return to the body.
Yes, that rings very true. Thank you very much. I'll go on to a question that I prepared just before. As you know, I'm transforming a lot recently, and I see new transformations coming, very much in line with what you're saying. I'd like your advice on a specific thing that I'm feeling very passionate and excited about now. I want others to benefit, as I have done, from the advice that comes from you. And I feel a lot of excitement to create an online passion app. This would be for passion app millionaires. So it's a kind of app that you share your passion, and people do that, and they are being successful. It's a very different audience from who currently tunes in to Dante. They're already embracing passion in their professional life. And they also become suddenly rich and might be confused spiritually and wanting passion outside the work, outside the area of making the app where they're passionate. They might find that their ordinary life is less good. I feel very called to create something for these people. Have you any comments or suggestions?
Yes. Well, follow your passion without insistence on the outcome. If it really calls to you, then take the steps necessary to lay it out and see what happens. And yes, recognize that this sort of an audience is not so attracted to the channel or even the idea of channeling. So you have to take the core of these messages that we share and the messages that other channels share that fit into your framework and turn it into your own message, your own translation of this higher frequency understanding of passion and non-insistence.
I hear what you're saying, and I've thought a lot about this particular aspect, that they have other expectations. However, I'm very closely associated with this channel. I'm very involved in the videos, with the book, and I feel I need to be quite open that I am involved with this channel and this is my source. So I am slightly trying to find a middle path where I acknowledge that I'm involved with this particular channeling and with who you are and how that's happened, whilst presenting it to people who possibly are less interested.
All right, well, you have to find out what works for you exactly. There's no need to point back to the channel because the information that is coming through us is something that everyone at a higher level knows and understands. And as you tune more into your own higher self, you will be able to also receive this message in words that work for you. So know that there's no need, but if you feel the call to point back to the channel, then that is welcome. It doesn't have to be a big gesture. You can create most of this app, if it is really oriented towards millionaires, in a way that would suit them and their interests. Nice, polished, and with that energy of affluence. It has to be, in the sense, exclusive for them to value it, because this falls into the value of that caste. The value set, yes. You can also try to work with people of a different class, and they, in general, would be much more open to the channel and channeling. That isn't to say that all billionaires are closed to this, but there are few that truly feel the call.
Yes, thank you. I'm aiming for 5, 10, 15 people at this time to start with. So start small and get to know these particular people. I feel fairly confident that of the group I'm looking at, there will be at least 5, maybe 15 people who are curious.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying about no need to overly push the format that the message is coming, and I'm already aware that certain aspects are coming through in my life that are me, that are my own connection to my lighter self. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And our thanks to you.
Thank you.
Hello, Pleiadian Council. May I ask?
Hello, welcome. Yes.
I would like to ask you, what's your recommended way how to discover negative beliefs? Bashar is recommending one question: what should I believe? It's true to have this feeling. Do you have any other recommendation?
That is a grand way, though you have to be following the formula in the first place in order to discover the negative belief. Because if you are not doing something you're passionate about, it is most likely that you won't even run into the obstacles. So the other way of discarding negative beliefs is when you discover obstacles. When something comes up and you believe that you cannot do it and don't have the ability to do it, or when something happens that causes you very strong emotions of fear, of loss, of anxiety, or stress, those are also moments to ask yourself that question. So you cannot ask this question in a meditation where you are in a serene place and experiencing transcendental joy. That is good and that is valid and that is necessary. But the time to ask this question is when negative emotions are triggered. And the most potent triggers are the ones that arise when you are enacting your passion.
Yes, that's clear. And when I ask this question, I get the feeling that I'm just guessing, because I believe that I need to.
So here's a belief: you don't believe in your own ability to see and know yourself.
Yes, that's
because
correct.
if you believed that, you would not be second guessing what you're observing. Everything you think is valid because every thought is a branch of a belief. The belief is the roots, and the thoughts are the shrub that grows up from them. So you have to start picking at the branches and working your way through the leaves to get to the core, to start to uproot this weed, essentially, that has grown in the garden of your consciousness.
Yes, that's clear. Thank you. And yes, and it usually requires sometimes to stop myself and go deeper into my beliefs and to
Yes.
see what's the root cause or
Yes.
the root belief. Okay, and then when I discovered this belief, it's obvious, as Bashar is saying, that usually this belief is nonsensical, but Bashar is saying that it should be gone, but it's still appearing to me, and I have difficult time to convince myself that I'm not longer using this belief. I would like to get some help how to.
Do you really believe that the negative beliefs are nonsensical?
Well, until the point I'm discovering them, they should have some basis, the reason why I'm using them. And when I'm discovering them and I made a decision that I wish not to use them anymore, then of course I'm saying to myself that it does not make sense. For instance, when I discovered that this belief is based off saying that I'm not worthy, and I simply have a difficult time to convince myself that I am worthy. And
all right. So you still believe that you're unworthy. So
yes,
another way of looking at this is to bring yourself to focus upon what worthiness is. How do you define worthiness? Who is worthy? Based upon what criteria is a person worthy? So look at your judgments about people. Is the old lady trying to cross the street worthy? Is the mailman worthy? Is the person who works at the grocery store worthy? Is the businessman worthy? Is the president worthy? Is the little child worthy? Who is worthy and who is not worthy? When did you learn what worth is? How does one gain worth? Is worth something that is really gained, or is it intrinsic? Because the higher truth is that worth is intrinsic. You exist, therefore you are worthy. Every being that has come into incarnation deserves the right to experience all of life and express themselves just the way they wish. It is only the constructed society that you live within that has created these values of who is worthy and who is not. This is not a completely unique thing, because there are many worlds, especially those planets connected to your world energetically and genetically, that have some of these concepts, but it is an evolutionary curve that you will go beyond. In order for you to do that, all of you as individuals have to look at how you define worth, not just for yourself, but for all people. Because if you don't believe you are worthy, inside you are having standards as to what makes a person worthy, good, valuable, and deserving. So you have to look at every single one of those concepts together and individually to see what stories from your family and from your society have brought you to think in those ways, and gradually create shifts in your consciousness so that you can come to see that worth is intrinsic, is innate, and you are born entirely worthy. You only create mental conceptions that say you're not. And by doing that, you deny yourself access to fulfilling your needs and therefore block yourself from thriving and accelerating in your own personal and spiritual evolution.
Back to the topic of unrooting negative beliefs. Sometimes when I'm unrooting these negative beliefs, I get a feeling that the weed had some side roots or something like that, and it starts growing from another side. So
yes, that happens, because if you don't pull out all the roots, it just grows back.
yes, that may be the issue.
So you have to keep looking.
And
you can't just do this once and it's over. It often takes a continuous getting to know of what those beliefs are and working to unroot them wherever they show up.
So it's like a constant gardening, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you have mentioned that I should know who put these beliefs inside myself. Is it really necessary to understand this?
Yes, it is.
And why?
Because if you don't know how they got there, you don't know why you keep them in place. If you understand where the beliefs came from, you'll understand how they are shaping all of your interactions. It's clear who you learned them from. You learned them from your family, from your teachers, from your friends, from society, from your bosses, from the officials, from all of the people you've interacted with. Now you just have to look at who you were before you learned these beliefs and how accepting these beliefs has guided you in developing your behaviors.
Because usually I've got a feeling that I simply don't remember where I got this from. And
well, yes, you may generate the experience of amnesia, but a part of you remembers.
Yes, I'm just guessing where, for instance, the self-unworthiness belief comes from. But as usual, I have some doubts about it, and I simply believe it's not so necessary. I just need to prove myself now that I'm worthy. So,
but
then
if something has to be proved, it is not innate. Something that is innate and intrinsic is evident, and it is so evident to you that you don't have to prove it. So you're already weaving yourself back into circles. So there's no proving, there's a knowing.
Yes, right.
You know your worth. You don't prove your worth to yourself or to anybody. You know it.
Yes, and this comes also to the concept of memory, because to remember all of these roots and beliefs and so on, I'm sometimes and many times forgetting them and forgetting the unrooting beliefs, and I believe that forgetting may be some also some negative beliefs that, or it's just a strategy of negative belief?
Forgetting is a strategy of the negative beliefs. It creates cloudiness around it so that you don't want to look there. And when you look there, you get confused.
Yes, that's my story.
So you need to work harder to shine the light into the darkness. And what's most important is that you have to be willing to feel. What you are not doing correctly here is that you're using a bypass and using affirmations or something of this nature to fight the negative belief rather than plunge into the negative belief. Imagine that it is a grand cell, and you have to go to the very core nucleus of the cell and destroy it from its center. But you're only moving around the surface of the negative belief instead of penetrating it. When you penetrate the negative belief and you go fully into it, you will feel horrible. And you will release the cellular memory. So part of remembering is not remembering exactly what happened, but the most important part of memory is remembering how it felt.
Mhm.
You need to feel this belief to heal it. You cannot fix the belief on a mental level alone because you are not just a mental being. You are an emotional, energetic, physical being. So you have to feel the repercussions of this negative belief at a deep cellular level, and then it will release from your body and from your soul.
Mhm. Yes.
So when the feelings come up, stay there, stay present with them.
Mhm. And let it be what it needs to be, right?
Yes. While remembering what you're feeling is the lie, is the deception, is a negative belief. If you can retain the awareness that everything you're feeling is based upon that lie, you will allow it to wash clear through you as long as one part of you remembers the truth, remembers that you are intrinsically worthy and intrinsically divine. You can go through that darkness and hold on to the light and know that the littlest bit of light is enough to transform the entire entity of that negative belief.
Yes, I believe it, and I'm sure I can do it.
And
It
we are
seems,
sure as well.
but it's much more hidden than I thought.
That's all right.
Um, the issue I'm experiencing lately is that I'm feeling some sort of nervousness, and I'm willing to feel it, but I'm not sure, and I cannot say where it is coming from. It's some simply not feeling good, feeling some nervousness. I'm not. I don't know.
Are you
Maybe I'm
acting
not.
upon your passion?
Well, actually, this sometimes appears when I'm doing some, for instance, my passions like sports, and then I'm tired, and day after that I'm feeling nervous. So it may be connected with some tiredness, something like that. And yes,
Perhaps it is based on the belief that you cannot fit everything in. There's something missing.
yes, that may be it. And
So you have to train yourself to see through a new belief that everything happens in its right time and place. Excitement guides you to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And when you trust and surrender to that, then you will not feel as if something is missing.
okay, so the steps are just let it feel, and then say to myself that everything happens as it needs to happen. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and
That will be all for now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Our thanks to you as well. We trust that this has given you all the guidance you need at this moment. So continue to work with it.
Thank you.
Hello, Pleiadians.
Hello, welcome.
How are you doing?
We are fantastic, and you?
Okay, thank you. I don't know if it can help, but I know how to practice shadow work. I don't know if I am doing well, but if you find it useful, I can teach Matej to do it. What do you think?
To practice what?
Shadow work technique.
Oh, yes. Well, you can reach out to this individual and see if it feels like in alignment with him.
Okay,
We
thank you.
encourage all of you to follow your passion and co-create with those who you feel share some interests and could offer you support. So if that feels exciting for you, then propose it and see how he feels as well.
Okay, I have a question because I am trying to do my highest excitement, even if I can see I am not succeeding to do it fully because I have a bias, I have a belief system, but I am trying to do my best, and I would like to know why. My life seems blocked. I don't know if it was a contract, if it's my higher self blocking everything, if it's a listen. I am fed up. I am tired of. I don't know. It says I don't know what to do. Yes. He's my higher self doing it on purpose.
The confusion you're experiencing is the result of your own negative belief systems. And many of these belief systems are ones that generate insistence. So the truth is that everything is going right for you, but there are some things that you want that you don't have, and there are some behaviors that you have that you don't want. But these things are happening for perfect reasons. And if you accepted everything as it was, you could dive deeper into the beliefs that keep perpetuating the same cycles.
Okay, but I always envision my life in one way, and it's never.
That's exactly what we're saying. You cannot get attached to the visions you have about your life because that is not proper manifestation techniques in any way. You need to use that vision to generate a feeling and create a basis of attachment to that. Not even attachment, no. Create a goal to vibrate with that feeling and pursue a path that might bring you to the vision, but let go of the vision because it is about feeling and it is about having no insistence on particular outcomes. If you insist on a particular outcome, you aren't following the formula, and it doesn't matter how passionate you are, you will not allow your frequency to raise when you remain insistent. So throw all of your visions away. If you have vision boards, burn them all right now and get fully here and now in the present.
Okay, because my visions was my dream and my desire and all my ego wished, and it's like you're asking me in one way to die, to let go all I envision, all I think I deserve, and it's very complicated, but I am so much fed up. I think I have no choice. The other choice is to suicide myself because I will not make it happen.
Yes.
So
So much of the pain that you experience is your attachment to your visions. You are so attached to your visions that you don't allow yourself to derive as much joy and satisfaction from the simple things that are around you. You're so attached to having a reality one way that you don't realize that it takes just the slightest changes in what you do and who you interact with, and you will be so much happier.
Okay, is it the reason why I am sick in my root chakra? I am having some sickness since 1 month. Is it linked?
The root chakra connects with this material plane and your concerns about the material plane. So whenever the root chakra is imbalanced, it means that you are ungrounded or you are too attached to the physical. To be ungrounded would make things like diarrhea. To be too attached would create feelings of stagnation or constipation or sluggishness in this area. It would make one feel heavy and make the body gradually get very inflamed in and around the root. So yes, you have to let go of your attachments to the physical and understand that this physical journey is a process of developing your soul. And yes, you get to enjoy the journey, but when you get attached to specific things that have to happen and that you have to have, you generate sickness and suffering. Not everyone is meant to have all of the luxuries of the world because it is not relevant for everybody's soul expansion. So you can't compare yourself to those who have great riches. And this is part of the problem in your world. So many of you are miserable because you look at people and watch people like Kim Kardashian, or in the spiritual community, you look and watch people like Eckhart Tolle, people who have this certain level of fame, recognition, and luxury. And you start to think that you need to be like those people and have the things that those people have and push harder. Or you start to think that it is not good enough the way that it works for you. You have to be according to your own definitions, according to your own culture and your own values, perfect. That means something different for everyone for the reasons we've just said. But nothing and no one is perfect in the sense that you have created a definition of that word. But on another level, it is perfect. It is perfectly the way it is. The universe made it this way for a reason. And if you keep generating these attachments, it's like you are saying to spirit, to your higher self, to the universe, no, you aren't doing the right thing for me. I don't want what you give to me. And of course, it is you who is putting out. And the universe is giving back. So the universe is perfect. It gives back what you put out. And if you want things to change, you have to put the responsibility on yourself and not be a victim to circumstance. Let go of your attachments to what you think your life needs to be and find the ways to celebrate what is. There are still always going to be things that need to change and need to improve, but you need to make small steps first. And that's why if you make visions of how things are supposed to be, enjoy them, play with them, but also celebrate what's happening in the moment and celebrate what has been. Focus on the next step of your journey more than what's going to happen to you in 1 year or 5 years or 10 years. You can have a plan if you want, but life is in the now. And the now leads to the very next now. So if you bring your focus on what needs to happen in the present, the vision won't matter. Satisfaction comes from the now. Satisfaction can only be experienced here and now. So you have to draw your focus away from grandiose ideas of what could be and into the things that bring you joy, pleasure, and love here and now today.
Okay, it's very hard to hear what you are saying. It's very hard for me.
But we've said it before, but maybe not in exact words that you could understand.
Yes, I know. I
So when are
know
you going to do
you.
it?
What?
So when are you going to do it then? When are you really going to release your attachments? Because if
I
you know it creates your suffering, keeping your
I will.
attachments is like saying to the universe that you want to suffer.
Okay, I don't know if I have enough yet of sufferment.
All right. It's good that you
Oh,
can acknowledge that.
okay. If I may,
And you will be
I
able to know when you had enough, truly.
yes. So for summering it quickly, all you create the chair if it's a casual chair, is if it's a luxury chair, if it's a casual car, luxury car, all is creating from our own energy, and it's for our own understanding and for our own enlightenment and our soul journey here. We cannot reject it. That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I have a quick question. I would like to let Christine talk as well quickly.
All right.
A medium said to me, my energetical field, it's too much large and it's danificating my pet rabbits. And the medium said to me to restrain or to control my energetical field for the pet not to being damaged. And I don't know what does that mean, and I don't know how to do it.
Well, it's not that your energy field is too large, cannot be too large, but emotions impact animals in the same room as you or in the same home as you. So it's here in recognizing that all is one. So if you don't do this work on truly releasing these recurring emotional patterns, it will have impacts on those around you, including your pets.
Okay. Okay. Can I clear this only with shadow work? If I push myself in shadow work, is it enough?
Yes.
Okay, so
But
I will do
remember,
it.
this shadow work is about releasing your attachments.
It's a meditation technique.
Yes, but there's many things that are called shadow work. So we don't know
Yes.
exactly what meditation you're referring to. What you need to do specifically is release your attachments on what needs to be, and then start to create appreciation for everything that you have and focus on what you can do in the now to derive happiness and satisfaction.
Okay, okay, I will try. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Christine, if you want to go, I will see if there is some question on YouTube.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes.
Hi, this is
Welcome.
Christine. Thanks.
Hello. Welcome.
So I just joined, and from our last talks, I can assume that the topics that keep me busy most, you will probably only say what you always say to me.
Yes.
Thanks for that. But anyway, I just wanted to say hi, and if you want to say something to me that you want to share, then it's welcome.
All right. Well, what we always ask is, are you following your passion?
Maybe not to the best of my ability, but I think yes,
All right.
more and more.
How do you think you could improve your abilities or do it a bit better?
How can I do that better? Ooh, I really have to think about this.
All right.
I mean, I know I can do better. But I can tell you that I feel much better than in the first 2 months of this year.
That's
And
great.
yeah, it is. Although I have problems, of course, and although many people around me are dying, and although the thing is, I think I'm more or less regurgitating or digesting stuff, like inner perspectives that I used to have, or that I now recognize more and more that yeah, they were in my way maybe, and I recognize more and more old stuff, like
Yes.
like actually how I got raised, and maybe some kind of belief systems that is behind that. And of course I'm still these things are still there. I recognize it sometimes, or at least it seems easier. Yeah, maybe this is what I can give back to you.
Your processing is great. And after all that has taken place, it is natural to need a lot of time to process and to go into your feelings. What we would encourage you to do is to recognize that you can still be following your passion while you process. And for you, we see new moments of you playing music, making art, or listening to music and watching things that really inspire you and bring you to connect deeper with yourself as time that is deeply valuable. So we want you to appreciate how valuable those moments are and make them more of a priority. What you need is time to unwind and to let go. So incorporate more things that bring you simple joy, and instead of worrying about what needs to be and what could be better, just do it for the sake of the experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds very wise. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Really, I don't know what to say, but I really appreciate the connection, and thanks for reminding me of the now. Thanks.
Yes, no, thanks to you as well.
Good. Bye-bye.
There is one question on the YouTube. Do you want me
Yes.
to read?
Oh, yes, thank
Okay.
you very much.
Okay, it's Ryan Leyland. I don't know if you can connect.
All right.
Hello, I have a discomfort in my lower back that started when I began to carry hemotite. It's a gemstone.
Yes.
Is the stone helping or hurting any blockage or condition in this area? Question mark. Thank you.
One moment. The hematite stimulates the lower three chakras. So it is bringing things to the surface, and it manifests as this blockage. But now you have to address the blockage as something different. The lower back pain is generally coming from a feeling of being unsupported. And sometimes that feeling of being unsupported means that you have not connected with the right support systems or learned how to support yourself in the right ways. So make sure that your basic needs are covered. And this includes breathing properly, water, sleep, food, shelter, relationship, and self-expression. All of these are needed for you to feel well and to thrive. And they are all connected with these lower chakras that are about the physical, personal experience. So can you support yourself better? Can you meet your needs more completely? Can you connect with those that can help you in meeting your needs more completely? What will it take for you to feel greater ease. Low back pain, we also recommend Qigong or yoga based upon whatever feels most soothing and natural for you, and in the style that feels the most soothing and natural for you. In terms of gemstones, we would recommend, in place of hematite, garnet, cat's eye, moonstone, carnelian.
There is no other question.
All right, then we will wrap it up quickly today, as the channel has a lot to do. And
may I have another question?
No, we are wrapping it up at this time today. So we thank you for participating, and we trust that as you really reflect on the information we've shared with each of you personally, you will understand that it is more than enough for what you need. And if you need more, we'll see you next week. Oh, the channel has a message about that, but we will see you shortly. And we thank each and every one of you for reaching out and connecting with us and working with these energies to improve your lives. For as you improve your life, you improve the planet and improve the entire galaxy. So know that you are your own greatest gift to all that is. And as you honor your passion, you cultivate your gifts and you wrap yourself and uplift yourself so that you can share who you are with the world. You are innately worthy. You are innately beautiful and divine. And there are so many gifts within you. If you have not found yet the people that want and need your gifts, you need to keep looking and keep working within yourself. The most important work you do is in cultivating your passion, which brings you flow, ease, and joy. So it does not have to be hard, but you do have to feel the hard emotions that come up in the process. And the more you are willing to go into them and feel them as deeply as you can, the quicker these things will shift for you. Our thanks again to all of you. We wish you a pleasant rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks to everybody. That was great. Just a little bit of a small group today, but I think it just worked perfectly. And it gives me more time, as time is a thing in this moment for me. But
Oh,
yeah, thanks for being here.
have you noticed the time is running so much fast?
Yes, it is for me right now. But I'm not sure if it's a collective thing as much as it's just what happens at certain chapters of life, because I'm in this kind of phase of transition where I am leaving Mexico in about 8 days, and I am not fully prepared for that. So I'm going to be going back to the States, and for a little while I will be out in the woods without good cell service. So the transmission for next week, I am going to move to a different time. I'm going to do it on Wednesday instead of on Thursday, and it will be a shorter one like this. The following week, there will be no transmission, and the following week after that, there will probably be no transmission as well. So next week is going to be the last week for a little break. So hope to see you then. And yeah, just wanted to throw that out there before it slipped my mind. How's everybody feeling?
It's good to see you.
Yes,
Oh,
it's always great to see you, your service, and to finding you in our lives and to finding guidance. It's like a little spark of light in our days. It's a great.
yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to support. I would say I'm happy to see you too, but I don't see anybody. So. I'm happy to hear you and feel you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. We wish you a whatever it comes, we wish you a great time that lies
Thanks so
ahead of
much.
you in the States.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it'll be cool.
So
It'll be fun.
you closed this YouTube record?
No, it's
Close?
still on YouTube.
Okay. I wish you a great travel. Be safe, and wish you to have enough money and to be all good for you. And
Thank you.
you
Yeah,
will come back in density. You are going back in the density world.
I'm going back into the Matrix.
So
Yeah,
you
In the
will have to.
sure.
Matrix.
You will.
Woo.
Well, I'm not going completely back into the Matrix because I'm going, first of all, after a couple days in the city, out into the woods and celebrating with people. Then I'm going to see my family, which is always crazy. So I'm prepared for all of that, whatever that's going to be. And then I don't know. After that, I'm pretty much just visiting friends and with people who are weird and open, like me.
Do
So
do
we'll
you
deal with the Matrix together.
do you pretend to go there closed with clothes or naked?
Well, with clothes, I cannot be naked there.
Okay.
You
I
also
think
cannot, you can only be naked on the beach here. It's not a nudist town, it's a nudist beach.
okay.
You always see
Uh,
me in clothes as well.
I only see the up, I don't see the down.
I am naked, by the way.
I'm not naked. I got my nice little skirt on.
Now I trust you. Christine,
But
I hear
I'm not
French.
promising that every transmission is that way.
I know. Only Pleiadian can see.
I don't know if they can see, and if they see, I think they won't mind.
They don't mind.
Yes, they don't
You know,
mind.
who is it in Barbara Marciniak's books? The Pleiadians say that whenever people have orgasms, it travels instantly 100,000 light years away to the Pleiadians, and they
Ooh,
experience
really?
it as a
That's so
cosmic wave of
cool.
joy. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I haven't channeled that, but I really like that.
I like that very much. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a nice
I-
thought.
Very nice.
I always was wondering when we go out sleep at night and we go in astral, are we naked?
Well, it depends on what you're dreaming because you're creating your astral body with your own consciousness, and we're not often conscious of that creation. So our subconscious can create that for us.
Okay. Now I am scared. Okay.
Well, it depends on whatever you remember in your dreams. That's what you're doing. That's what
Oh,
you're doing
you
out there
know,
in the astral realm.
I
When I
ma-
was young, I had like this. I had a recurring dream that happened a couple times that I showed up to school naked, and I was having to
Oh.
hide. That
A
was weird,
hide.
right?
You were a
I was
hide?
having to hide. No, I was
To
having to
hide.
hide because I showed up to school naked on the bus, and I was like trying to find something to cover myself.
That's interesting because this is one of the typical scenarios for bad dreams, huh?
Yeah, but a lot of them are recurring. The other one is like losing teeth. Like that's a very
Ooh.
common dream.
Yeah, I had one like that too.
Mhm.
One of my dreams, it's always the same. I am losing a train or a plane, and I don't know what's the meaning. Strange. Christine, I heard French. Are you French?
No, I live
I
in
hear.
Germany.
Oh, I heard French people talking behind you.
No,
There are
that's
no.
me. There's some French people here.
Ah,
Okay. The mystery it's unsolved. Okay,
Okay.
you can say hello, bonjour now. You say bonjour
Bonjour.
to them. Yes, bonjour to them.
Yeah, that's about as far I go in French. I know bonjour, merci, croissant.
It's great. It's great. Oh,
Yeah.
Dante, if I succeed to get abundance, and I will welcome you in my house if we are not in a lockdown or in a bank crisis.
Cool.
When I will be good, I invite you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, who knows? I might go to Europe later on in the summer, depending on how things go. Yeah,
Okay.
traveling time again.
Okay, stay safe, guys. And
Stay-
Matej, if you want shadow work, I can teach you what I know, but it's as you wish.
Thank you. I think I'm fine for now with the guidance from Pleiades.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being
Thanks.
here. Thanks for making this reality. It's
Ooh.
great pleasure and joy. It's a beautiful small group today, but hope to see you next week for the one that will be the last for maybe 2 weeks. So have a great day. And
Yeah.
if you want to support with donations, the links are there in the YouTube chat. And it helps me in continuing to do this. No pressure. But I thank you. And I hope you have a fantastic, beautiful day and enjoy the full moon tomorrow.
Oh, it's
Ciao.
already good. Bye bye.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.